My best friend held my son at his baptism and promised to protect him. Then I watched him destroy our family on camera in my own bedroom. Before you judge what I did next, let me tell you how I got here. This story involves 60 hours of surveillance footage, $200,000 in stolen money, and the complete annihilation of everything I thought I knew about the two people I trusted most in the world. It's going to take a while to tell. Settle in. My name is Rob Mitchell. The best friend is Mike Carter, and my wife, her name is Jennifer. Before Mike and I met freshman year at Penn State, random roommate assignment that turned into a 15-year friendship. By graduation, we weren't just friends, we were brothers. The kind who finish each other's sentences, who show up at 3 a.m. when the other one needs help moving, who serve as best man at each other's weddings. Except I was his best man. He was my business partner. We started a software company together 7 years ago. I owned 70%. Mike had 30%. He was CFO, handled the money. I was CEO, handled the vision. We made a good team, built something successful. Last year, we cleared $2 million in revenue. I married Jennifer 9 years ago. Met her at a conference where Mike was speaking. She was in marketing, sharp as hell, beautiful, in that girl next door way that makes you think she'd never hurt you. We dated for 2 years. Mike walked her down the aisle when her dad couldn't make it from overseas. Gave a speech at our wedding that made everyone cry. "Rob's the best guy I know," he'd said, champagne glass raised. "Jen, you're getting someone who'll never let you down. And Rob, buddy, you found someone who gets you. I'm jealous." Everyone laughed. It was perfect. We had 2 kids, Ryan, 8 years old now, Emma, 5. Mike's Ryan's godfather. Signed the baptism certificate in March 2017. Held my son in his arms and promised before God and everyone to guide him, protect him, love him. That's the world I lived in. That was my normal. Until I installed cameras in my house and watched that world burn. The cracks. It started small. March of this year, things going missing around the house. My watch, Tag Heuer, wedding gift from Jen, disappeared from my nightstand. I tore the bedroom apart looking for it. Jennifer said I probably left it at the gym. I didn't. I never wore it to the gym. 2 weeks later, $200 cash vanished from my wallet. I mentioned it to Jen while she was making dinner. "Maybe you spent it and forgot," she said, not looking up from chopping vegetables. "I'd remember spending $200. "You've been stressed, work stuff, your memory's been off." I let it go, but I started a note on my phone. Things missing. Added the watch, the cash, started documenting. April, a bottle of Macallan, 18 $300 scotch, gift from a client, opened once, suddenly gone. I asked Jen about it. "Maybe Mike borrowed it. He was over last Tuesday." "Mike doesn't drink scotch." She shrugged. "I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you drank it." "A whole bottle?" "You don't remember everything lately, Rob." That phrase. You don't remember. She'd been using it a lot, making me doubt my own mind. That's when I should have known, but I didn't want to see it. Other things changed too. Subtle shifts. Jen started showering as soon as she got home from work, every single day. Before, she'd kick off her shoes, change into sweats, start dinner. Now, straight to the bathroom, door locked, 30-minute showers. Her phone was always face down, always in her hand. She'd take it to the bathroom, sleep with it on her nightstand, screen down, and suddenly, after 6 years of never having a password, it was locked. "New work policy," she said when I asked. "It requires passwords on personal devices if we access company email." That made sense. Except I'd checked. Her company had no such policy. Mike started coming around more. Nothing weird on the surface. He'd always been part of our lives, but now it was different. He'd text Jen to check on her when I was at work. "Making sure she's okay while you're traveling," he'd say. I traveled for business maybe 4 days a month. Not much, but every trip Mike would text, "I'll swing by. Make sure Jen and the kids are good." Carlos at the office mentioned something in late April. My right-hand guy, good dude, been with the company 5 years. Hey, is Mike supposed to have access to the development server? He asked one afternoon. No, why? Saw him logged in yesterday late, just seemed odd. Maybe he needs something for the quarterly reports. Yeah, probably. Carlos didn't push it, but I saw the concern in his eyes. I dismissed it all. These were people I trusted. My wife, my best friend. They wouldn't. But the note on my phone kept growing. May rolled around. The missing items. The locked phone. The late night text that made Jen smile. Quick smiles she'd kill as soon as she noticed me watching. Mike's random visits. Carlos's quiet suspicion. I'm not a paranoid person. Never have been. But something in my gut twisted every time I came home and found Mike's car in my driveway. Just dropped off some papers for you, he'd say, all smiles, walking out as I walked in. Why not bring them to the office? By June, I couldn't sleep. I'd lie next to Jennifer, her phone glowing under the blanket as she texted someone at 2 a.m., and I'd stare at the ceiling, wondering what the fuck was happening to my life. That's when I decided to find out. The installation, June 10th. Thursday morning, Jen took the kids to school. I called in sick to work, first time in 3 years, and drove to Best Buy. The kid at the security camera section was maybe 19, acne-scarred, eager to help. Looking for home security? He asked. Yeah, nothing fancy. Just want to keep an eye on things. He showed me the Secure Home Pro system. 4 cameras, cloud storage, motion alerts sent to your phone. $200 for everything. Easy install, he said. Each camera takes maybe 10 minutes. Just mount them, download the app, you're done. Records 24/7, stores everything in the cloud for 30 days. Motion alerts? Sends a notification whenever something moves in frame. You can set zones, adjust sensitivity. Pretty cool. Perfect. I bought 4 cameras, drove home, spent the next 3 hours installing them. Living room camera went in the corner near the TV. Perfect angle to see the couch, the front door, half the kitchen. Kitchen camera mounted above the fridge, covering the table and back door. Office camera pointed at my desk. Hallway camera caught the bedroom door and most of the upstairs. Each one had a tiny red LED that blinked when recording. Barely visible unless you were looking for it. I finished at 2 p.m., downloaded the app, set up the alerts, tested everything. The cameras were small, discreet, black plastic domes that blended into the ceiling. Jennifer got home at 5:30. Ryan and Emma burst through the door, backpacks flying. Daddy! Emma launched herself at my legs. I scooped her up, kissed her head. She smelled like playground and fruit snacks. Ryan was already raiding the pantry. How was school, champ? Fine. We had gym. I scored 3 goals in soccer. That's my boy. Jennifer walked in behind them, purse over her shoulder, phone in hand. She glanced up at the living room camera. What's that? Security camera. With all the break-ins in the neighborhood, figured we should have some protection. Her face did something, just for a second. A flicker of concern? Fear? Then it was gone, replaced by a casual smile. Makes sense. How many did you get? 4. Living room, kitchen, office, hallway. Where's the hallway one? Upstairs. Covers the bedroom door. Another flicker. Bedroom? Just the hallway. Not inside the room. Don't worry. I smiled. I'm not spying on you. She laughed. It sounded forced. Good. That would be weird. She went upstairs. I heard the shower start 5 minutes later. I pulled out my phone, opened the Secure Home app. 4 camera feeds loaded instantly. Living room, Ryan and Emma watching TV. Kitchen, empty. Office, empty. Hallway, steam creeping under the bathroom door. I didn't tell Jen about the motion alerts. I didn't tell her the cameras stored everything in the cloud automatically. I didn't tell her I could access the footage from anywhere, anytime. I forgot to mention a lot of things. The first footage. 2 weeks passed, June 24th. Tuesday afternoon. I was at the office, third floor conference room, going over Q2 numbers with Carlos and two other guys. My phone buzzed in my pocket, motion alert from home camera, living room. Probably Jen getting home early, or Ryan and Emma back from summer camp. The meeting dragged another 30 minutes. We wrapped at 4:15. I went back to my office, closed the door, pulled out my phone. Curiosity. That's all it was at first. Just checking the cameras like you'd check a baby monitor. I opened the app, tapped recorded footage. The living room camera had clips from all day. I started scrolling backward from the current time, 4:15 p.m., me leaving that morning. 11:30 a.m., empty house. 2:30 p.m., motion detected. I tapped the 2:30 clip. The footage loaded, grainy but clear, color, good enough to see faces. Mike's car pulled into my driveway. I stopped breathing. Mike got out, walked to my front door, used a key. A fucking key. He let himself into my house, with a key I didn't know he had. The camera showed him walking into the living room, looking around, casual, comfortable, like he owned the place. Then Jennifer appeared from the kitchen. They stood in my living room, talking. I couldn't hear the audio. Camera had sound, but I'd forgotten to turn the volume up on playback. I adjusted the volume, rewound 10 seconds. "Thought you weren't coming until 3, Jen was saying. "Finished the meeting early. Figured I'd surprise you." They were standing close, too close. Mike reached out, touched her face. She didn't pull away. My hand started shaking. He kissed her. She kissed him back. I watched my best friend kiss my wife in my living room on my couch, the couch Jen and I picked out together 3 years ago, the couch where I read bedtime stories to Ryan and Emma every night, and I couldn't look away. The kiss lasted 10 seconds. Then they broke apart, smiling. "We have to be careful," Jen said. "Rob's installing cameras." I saw. They're obvious as hell. Living room, kitchen, office. He probably didn't put one in the bedroom, though, right? That'd be too weird. "Just the hallway. He said he's not spying on me." She laughed. Actually laughed. "Good. We just have to be smart. No more afternoon visits when the cameras are rolling." "What about tonight? He's at that client dinner until 9. Mike grinned. "I'll bring wine." They kissed again. Then Mike left. Jennifer stood in the living room for a moment, touching her lips, smiling. Then she checked her phone and went upstairs. I sat in my office, door locked, headphones on, staring at my phone screen. The timestamp on the footage, June 24th, 2:47 p.m. 20 minutes ago, my wife and my best friend were making plans to fuck in my house while I was at dinner with a client. My chest felt like someone was standing on it. Short, shallow breaths. Hands shaking so bad I had to set the phone down. I read it wrong. I must have read it wrong. I watched the clip again, and again, and again. Each time, hoping I'd see something different. Some innocent explanation. Maybe they were rehearsing a play? Maybe it was a joke? Maybe... Hey man, I jumped. Carlos was at my door. "You okay? You look like you were gonna puke." "I'm fine. Just migraine." "Want me to get you some Advil?" "No, I'm good, thanks." He left. I locked the door again. My phone buzzed. Text from Mike. Mike. "Quarterly numbers looking great, buddy. Drinks Friday?" I stared at the message. "Buddy. Drinks Friday." Like nothing had happened. Like he hadn't just kissed my wife. Like he wasn't planning to fuck her tonight in my bed. I typed back, "Sounds good." Then I opened the app again, went back further. Started watching footage from earlier in the week. June 23rd, Monday. Mike's car, 3:15 p.m. Jen's home. They're on the couch. June 20th, Friday. Mike's car, 2 p.m. I was at work. They're in my house. June 18th, Wednesday. Mike's car, 1:45 p.m. Jen took a half day from work. They're in my house. I went back further. June 11th, June 8th, June 4th, May 29th, May 25th, May 18th, over and over and over, every time I was at work, Every time I was traveling, every time I had a late meeting, Mike's car in my driveway, Mike letting himself in with his key, Mike kissing my wife. How long? How fucking long? I kept scrolling. April, March. The cameras only stored 30 days of footage, but I'd seen enough. This wasn't new. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a moment of weakness. This was routine. I needed to hear it. I needed to know what they said about me. I found footage from June 20th, Friday afternoon, clicked play, turned the volume all the way up. They were on my couch. Post-sex, clearly. Jen was in her robe. Mike was shirtless, jeans on, barefoot. We need to be more careful, Jen said. Rob's been asking questions. About what? Missing stuff, money, his watch. You took his watch? I needed money, sold it. He was pissed. Mike laughed. Jesus, Jen. What? He's not using it, and besides, he'll forgive me. He always does. He's too nice, too trusting. That's what makes this so easy. What do you mean? Mike leaned back, hands behind his head, smiling. Rob's a useful idiot. He built this company, he built this life, and he has no idea I'm taking everything. The business, you, all of it. Jen giggled, actually giggled. Useful idiot, I like that. He'll never suspect. He's too loyal, too stupid. He's not stupid. Jen, he installed cameras and warned you about them. A smart person would hide them. But Rob tells you, because he trusts you, because he's an idiot. They both laughed. I dropped my phone. It hit my desk. Screen cracked. Useful idiot, that phrase. Those two words. Useful idiot built everything for us. My vision blurred, chest tight, room spinning. Someone knocked on my office door. I ignored it, knocked again. Rob, you in there? Mike's voice. I picked up my phone. Cracked screen. Still worked. Mike knocked again. Buddy, open up. I opened the door. Mike stood there, big smile, polo shirt, khakis, golden boy, my best friend, my business partner, my son's godfather. Hey, there you are. You okay? Carlos said you looked sick. Migraine. I'm fine. Want to grab dinner? I'm buying. I looked at him, really looked at him, trying to see the predator under the mask. He just looked like Mike. Same face I'd known for 15 years. Can't tonight. Rain check? Sure, man. Feel better. He clapped my shoulder, walked away. I stood in my doorway, watching him go. Then I went back in my office, locked the door, and I started planning. The double life that night was the hardest. I drove home at 6. Mike's car was gone. Jen was in the kitchen making spaghetti. Ryan and Emma were doing homework at the table. Normal. Perfectly fucking normal. Daddy! Emma ran over. I picked her up, kissed her head. She smelled like shampoo and crayons. How was your day, sweetheart? Good. I made a painting. Want to see? Of course. She dragged me to the fridge. Her painting was magnetic clipped next to Ryan's spelling test. A family portrait. 4 stick figures. Me, Jen, Ryan, Emma, all smiling. Hearts everywhere. It's beautiful, Em. You really like it? I love it. Jen walked over, kissed my cheek. Hey, babe, how was work? Fine. Busy. You look tired. Migraine, it's better now. Want me to get you Advil? I'm good. She went back to the stove. I stood there watching her. Jennifer Mitchell, mother of my children, love of my life, woman I trusted completely, woman who'd been fucking my best friend in our house for months. Daddy, can you help me with math? Ryan called. Sure, champ. I sat at the table, helped Ryan with multiplication. Emma colored next to us. Jen hummed while cooking. Domestic bliss. My phone buzzed. Text from Mike. Mike, feel better, buddy. Tomorrow's another day. We'll crush it. I responded. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Jen's phone buzzed on the counter. She glanced at it, smiled, then wiped the smile away when she saw me watching. Work? I asked. Yeah, just a client. Liar. Dinner was ready at 7. We ate as a family. Spaghetti, garlic bread, salad. Kids talked about school. Jen talked about her day at work. All lies, I assumed. I smiled and nodded and participated. Academy Award performance. After dinner, I did dishes while Jen gave the kids baths. My phone was in my pocket, Secure Home app open. I could see the living room camera feed, empty. Kitchen camera showed me at the sink. I went upstairs. Jen was tucking Emma into bed, reading her a story. I stood in the doorway, watching. Emma's eyes were heavy, fighting sleep. "Daddy, come sit," she said. I sat on the edge of her bed. Jen finished the story, kissed Emma's forehead. "Good night, baby girl." "Night, Mommy. Night, Daddy." "Good night, sweetheart." We left her room, went to Ryan's. He was already in bed, reading a book about dinosaurs. 10 more minutes, then lights out, I said. "Okay, Dad." Jen and I went to our bedroom. She started getting ready for bed. I went to the bathroom, closed the door, sat on the edge of the tub. My hands were shaking. They'd been shaking all evening. I pulled up the footage from that afternoon, watched Mike kiss my wife again. Useful idiot. I wanted to scream, throw my phone, punch the mirror. Something. Instead, I flushed the toilet, washed my hands, brushed my teeth, walked back to the bedroom. Jen was already in bed, phone in hand, texting. She saw me and quickly locked it, set it face down on her nightstand. "You coming to bed?" she asked. "In a minute." I stood by the window, looking out at our street. Quiet suburban neighborhood, nice houses, families, normal lives. Mine was a lie. "Rob? Yeah? You okay? You've been weird all evening." "Just tired." "Come to bed. You need rest." I climbed into bed next to her. She reached for me, her hand on my chest. I nearly vomited. "I love you." She said, "I love you too." Another lie. Or was it? Did I still love her? Could you love someone and hate them simultaneously? She kissed me. I didn't pull away. I kissed her back. Then she turned over, back to me, asleep in minutes. I lay there staring at the ceiling, listening to her breathe. My phone was under my pillow. I pulled it out, opened the app, started watching footage from earlier months, whatever the cloud had saved. 63 separate incidents. I counted them. 2 years, 3 months, 17 days, based on text message timestamps I'd later find. 63 times Mike had been in my house with my wife while I was gone. I knew the math better than I knew my own wife. That night, Jen reached for me in her sleep, her arm draped across my chest. I lay perfectly still, not breathing, until she rolled away. I didn't sleep more than 2 hours. Welcome to my new normal. The evidence. The next 2 weeks were systematic. I became a detective in my own life. Every spare moment spent gathering evidence, building a case, making sure that when I confronted them, there'd be no room for denial, no space for excuses. June 25th through July 9th. 16 days of methodical investigation. I started with the footage, all of it. The cameras only stored 30 days in the cloud. I downloaded everything, every clip, every motion alert, every second of video from all 4 cameras. Then I bought 3 external hard drives, 2 terabytes each, labeled them Project Files Backup. Backed up everything 3 times. 1 drive in my car trunk, 1 in my office safe, 1 at Carlos's house. Told him it was confidential company data. Didn't explain further. I wasn't going to lose this evidence. If Jen found my phone, smashed it, the footage was still safe. If Mike somehow hacked the cloud, I had backups. If someone broke into my office, Carlos had the 3rd copy. Paranoid? Maybe. But I was playing chess while they were playing checkers. Next, timeline creation. I created an Excel spreadsheet. Columns, date, time, duration, summary, evidence type. June 24th, 2:47 p.m., 43 minutes. Living room kiss plus planning, evening meet. Video plus audio. June 23rd, 3:15 p.m., 58 minutes. Couch, presumed sexual, casual conversation after. Video June 20th, 2 Oxhouse p.m., 1 hour 16 minutes. Bedroom post-sex conversation, mocking Rob. Video plus audio, every incident documented. Time stamped, cross-referenced with my work calendar. Every time I was traveling. Every time I had a late meeting. Every time I told Jen I'd be home late. Mike was there. The spreadsheet grew. 63 rows. I lost weight, 12 pounds in 2 weeks. Couldn't eat. Food tasted like ash. Carlos noticed. You sick, man? Stress. Q3 stuff. You need to take care of yourself. I know. But I couldn't stop. I had to know everything, every detail, every lie. I reviewed our joint credit card statements. Jen paid them, but I had online access. February 14th, Valentine's Day hotel room at the Westin downtown, $285. I was in Chicago that day for a conference. Jen told me she stayed home sick with the flu. Lie, March 8th. Girls' night, she said. Dinner at Fleming's Steakhouse. $182 for 2 people. Wine, dessert, romantic. Lie, April 3rd. Victoria's Secret, $240. Lingerie. I'd never seen her wear any of it. Not once. For him. She bought it for him. May 9th. Spa day, she said. $300 at a boutique hotel. Couples massage, champagne package. All on our joint credit card. My money, funding her affair. I wanted to laugh, or cry, or both. Instead, I added everything to my spreadsheet. Phone records next. We were on a family plan. I pulled 3 months of data, text and call logs. One number appeared 216 times over 90 days. Calls, texts, all hours, late night, early morning, weekends. I cross-referenced the timing with my calendar. Every late night text happened when I was asleep next to her. Every early morning call happened before I woke up. Every lunch hour conversation happened while I thought she was eating with coworkers. I reverse looked up the number. Michael David Carter, company cell phone, the one I paid for as part of our business plan. He was calling my wife on a phone I was paying for, planning to steal my wife using my money. Useful idiot. 2 weeks into my investigation, I couldn't maintain the charade anymore. I was at home, early evening, kids in bed, Jen in the shower. I sat in my office with the lights off, reviewing footage again. This time, audio from June 27th, 3 days after I installed cameras. Mike and Jen in my kitchen. Afternoon, I was at work. We need to be more careful, Mike was saying. Those cameras. He only checks them when something's wrong. He trusts me. Does he know about us? No, he's clueless. You sure? Rob's the most loyal person I know. He'd never suspect his best friend and his wife. It's not in his DNA. What if he finds out? He won't. And even if he did, what's he going to do? Divorce me? I'll take half of everything. The house, the cars, custody of the kids. You'd do that? I love you, Mike. I don't love him. Haven't for years. Since when? Since, I don't know. Maybe I never did. Maybe I just loved what he could provide. Mike laughed. That's cold. It's honest. So, when are we doing this? When are you leaving him? Soon. I need to set things up. Make sure I'm protected financially. Then I'll tell him. And the kids? They'll adjust. Kids are resilient. What about Ryan? I'm his godfather. Exactly. They already love you. This won't be weird for them. I paused the video. They'd already planned everything. The divorce, custody, the kid's future, all without asking me. No, worse, while actively lying to me every single day. I sat in the dark, hands clenched into fists, jaw aching from grinding my teeth. My phone buzzed, text from Mike. Mike, you still up? Want to grab a beer? I looked at the message, looked at the frozen video on my laptop. Mike's face, smiling, planning to destroy my life. I texted back, can't tonight? Rain check? Mike, sure thing, buddy. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. From the man stealing my wife. From the man embezzling from my company. Because yes, that's what I found next. The financial betrayal, July 5th. I noticed something in the footage. June 28th afternoon, Mike at my house. Jen wasn't home yet. She'd gone to pick up the kids from camp. Mike let himself in with his key, went to my home office, sat at my computer, logged in. How did he know my password? I watched him type. Access company files, transfer documents, close everything, leave before Jen got home. He'd done this before. I could see it in his movements. Practiced, comfortable. What was he looking for? I checked my computer's activity log. File access history showed Mike's user credentials logging in remotely 16 times in the past 6 months. But Mike didn't have remote access to my home computer. Only his work laptop, which required two-factor authentication that went to his phone. Unless he'd cloned my credentials. Set up a backdoor. I'm not a tech expert, but Carlos is. Next morning, July 6th, I pulled Carlos aside at the office. Need you to check something, quietly. What's up? Company financials, last 18 months. I think there might be discrepancies. Carlos's face went serious. Like what kind of discrepancies? I don't know yet. That's why I need you to look. Don't tell anyone, not even Mike. Especially not Mike? Especially not Mike. He looked at me for a long moment. You think he's stealing? I think something's wrong. Help me figure out what. It took Carlos 3 days. July 9th, Monday morning. He came to my office, closed the door, put a folder on my desk. You were right. My stomach dropped. Show me. Carlos opened the folder. Spreadsheets, highlighted transactions, wire transfers. Started 18 months ago. Small amounts at first. 3,000 here, 5,000 there. Easy to miss in quarterly reviews. How much total? So far? About 86,000. Jesus. That's just what I found with basic analysis. If we bring in a forensic accountant, there's probably more. Where's it going? Offshore account, Cayman Islands, registered to a shell corporation. But I did some digging. He pulled out another sheet. The shell corp lists Mike as a director. I sat back in my chair. $86,000. Mike had been stealing from the company, our company, the one we built, while sleeping with my wife. There's more, Carlos said quietly. More? I found plane tickets, purchased with company funds, filed as business travel, but they're personal. 2 tickets. Rob, their tickets to Mexico, Cabo San Lucas. Departure date, July 26th, 2 weeks from now. Who are the tickets for? Carlos slid the printout across the desk. Michael David Carter, Jennifer Mitchell, one-way tickets. They're running, I said. Looks like it. I stared at the tickets. 2 weeks. They were planning to leave in 2 weeks. Take the money, take my wife, disappear to Mexico. Leave me with nothing. Leave my kids without a mother. What do you want to do? Carlos asked. I need a forensic accountant. Someone good. Someone who can find everything Mike's hidden. I know someone. Patricia Sanders. Used to work for the FBI. Now does private consulting. She's expensive, but she's the best. Set up a meeting. Today, if possible. Done. Carlos left. I sat alone in my office, door locked, staring at the plane tickets. July 26th. 16 days away. Mike hadn't just stolen my wife. He was stealing my company, everything I'd built from scratch, everything I'd worked for, and in 16 days, he'd be gone. Not if I could help it. Patricia Sanders. That afternoon, Carlos and I met Patricia Sanders at her downtown office. 10th floor, corner suite, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the river. She was 45, sharp gray pantsuit, hair pulled back tight, no-nonsense expression. Former FBI forensic accountant. Now she hunted white-collar criminals for private clients. Mr. Mitchell, she said, shaking my hand. Firm grip, direct eye contact. Carlos briefed me on the basics. You think your business partner is embezzling. I know he is. Question is how much. And you want me to find out everything, every dollar, every transaction. I need a complete picture. That's going to take time, and it's not cheap. My rate is $500 an hour. I don't care what it costs. She studied me. You're also Carlos's business partner, correct? You own 70%? Yes. And the person you suspect, Mike Carter, owns 30? Correct. Does he know you're investigating? No, and he can't. Not yet. Why not? Because he's sleeping with my wife, and they're planning to run to Mexico in 2 weeks. If he knows I'm on to him, he'll disappear sooner. I need time. Patricia's expression didn't change. Understood. I'll need access to all company financial records, bank statements, wire transfers, credit card receipts, tax returns for the past 3 years, everything. You'll have it by tomorrow. I'll need 2 weeks to do a thorough analysis. You have 13 days. She nodded. Then I'd better get started. 9 days later, July 18th, Patricia called me. Come to my office, now. I drove downtown, sat across from her in the same conference room. She had a stack of documents 6 inches tall. 243 pages, she said, sliding the bound report across the table. 18 months of systematic embezzlement. Mike's been smart about it. Small amounts, irregular intervals, buried in legitimate expenses, but it's all here. How much total? $206,833. My hands went numb. $200,000. Plus interest and damages, you're looking at closer to $250,000 in civil court. And this, she tapped the report. This is enough for criminal charges. Wire fraud, embezzlement. Each count carries 5 to 10 years. He's going to prison. If you press charges, yes, the evidence is overwhelming. What about the Mexico flight? Found those too. Booked through a company credit card, filed as business expense. 2 one-way tickets July 26, 8 days from now. He also opened an offshore account last week, transferred $130,000 into it, likely planning to move the rest before he leaves. I sat back. He's been planning this for months. Longer. I traced the first transfers back 20 months, small test amounts, then larger as he got comfortable. Classic embezzlement pattern. And my wife, is she involved? Financially? I don't see her name on any accounts, but she's clearly aware. She's listed on the plane ticket. In legal terms, she's not complicit in the theft, but she's definitely complicit in the escape plan. I looked at the report, 243 pages of betrayal, documented in spreadsheets and highlighted transactions. What do I do? I asked. Patricia leaned forward. That depends. Do you want justice or do you want revenge? What's the difference? Justice means I give this to the police. They arrest Mike. He goes to trial. He goes to prison. Clean, legal, takes months. Revenge means you control the narrative. You decide when and how this comes out. You maximize the damage on your terms. I want both. She smiled, slightly. Then you need a plan, and you need a good divorce lawyer. You know one. I know the best. She picked up her phone, made a call. 5 minutes later, I had an appointment with Richard Thompson, the most aggressive divorce attorney in the state. One more thing, Patricia said as I stood to leave. That report, make 3 copies. Keep them somewhere safe. If Mike finds out you know, he'll try to destroy evidence. Already ahead of you. I took the report, made 4 copies, locked 1 in my office safe, 1 in my car, 1 at Carlos's house, 1 in a safe deposit box at my bank. Mike wasn't the only one who could plan ahead. Richard Thompson, July 19th, next day. Downtown law office, 20th floor. Richard Rick Thompson was 52, silver hair, expensive suit, reputation for destroying opponents in court. Mr. Mitchell, he didn't shake my hand, gestured to a chair. Patricia Sanders speaks highly of you, says you've got an interesting case. My wife's having an affair with my business partner. He's also embezzling from our company. They're planning to flee to Mexico in 7 days. Rick raised an eyebrow. Well, that is interesting. I gave him everything. The footage, Patricia's report, the timeline, the evidence. He reviewed it all in silence. Took him 30 minutes. When he looked up, he was smiling. Mr. Mitchell, this is the most documented case of infidelity and embezzlement I've seen in 20 years of practice. We can bury them. I want custody of my kids. Full custody. You'll get it. No judge will give custody to a mother planning to flee the country. I want the house, the cars, everything. Did you have a prenuptial agreement? Yes, we signed one before the wedding. Does it have an infidelity clause? I don't remember. I'd have to check. Find it. If there's an infidelity clause, she forfeits any claim to marital assets. You keep everything. I found the prenup that night, buried in our home office filing cabinet, signed November 2015, Section 7, Subsection C. In the event of infidelity by either party, proven by reasonable evidence, the offending party forfeits all claims to marital property, spousal support, and retains only separate property brought into the marriage. Jen had signed this 7 years ago with her own hand. She just signed away her future. Next morning, July 20th, I met with Rick again. Found the prenup. Infidelity clause is clear. Rick smiled. Then here's what we're going to do. We're going to prepare divorce papers. We're going to attach every piece of evidence you have. The footage, the forensic report, the timeline. We're going to file it next week. But, he held up a finger, we're not going to tell anyone until the moment we're ready. When's that? When's their flight to Mexico? July 26th, 6 days from now. Then we spring the trap July 25th, 1 day before they run. We serve the divorce papers. We have police there with an arrest warrant for Mike. We catch them with their escape plan ready, evidence in hand, no way to deny anything. Why wait that long? 2 reasons. 1, they'll have moved all the money by then, which adds to the criminal charges. 2, the closer to their escape date, the more desperate they'll be, the sloppier they'll get. We want them overconfident. And in the meantime? In the meantime, you play the loving husband, the trusting friend. You act like everything's fine. Can you do that? I thought about the past 3 weeks, kissing Jen goodnight, texting Mike, pretending everything was normal while dying inside. I can do that. Good, because if they suspect you know, they'll run early, and we'll lose our shot. What about the kids? Where do they go during this? You'll arrange for them to be somewhere safe, away from the house. We don't want them witnessing the confrontation. Jennifer's sister lives 2 hours away. I can send them there for the day. Perfect. Tell your wife it's a cousin sleepover or something. Make it seem normal. When do we move? I'll have the divorce papers ready in 3 days. I'll coordinate with the police. They'll want Patricia's forensic report to get the arrest warrant. We'll set up for the afternoon of the 25th. Mike and Jennifer together, in your house, right before they're supposed to leave. How do we make sure they're both there? You'll tell your wife you're going on a business trip. Leave the house. They'll think they have one last chance to finalize things. We'll catch them planning their escape. And Mike? We'll tell him there's an emergency board meeting. Get him to your house on false pretenses, whatever it takes. I sat back, looked at Rick Thompson, this man I just met, who was now orchestrating the complete destruction of 2 people I used to love. This is really happening. This is really happening. The question is, are you ready? Was I? 6 days until July 26th. 6 days until Mike and Jen planned to disappear. 6 days until my old life ended and whatever came next began. I'm ready. Then let's burn their world down. The weight of knowing 4 days before the trap. July 21st through July 24th. The longest days of my life. I had to live normally, act normally. Pretend I didn't know my world was ending in 96 hours. Every morning I woke up next to Jennifer, kissed her goodbye, told her I loved her. Every word tasted like poison. Ryan's 9th birthday was July 22nd. We threw a party. 15 kids in our backyard, pizza, cake, presents. Mike showed up with a giant Lego set, something Ryan had wanted for months. Best godfather ever, Ryan shouted, hugging Mike's legs. Mike picked him up, spun him around. Anything for my guy. I watched from across the yard, beer in hand, jaw clenched so tight I thought my teeth would crack. Jennifer came up beside me. This is nice. Yeah. You okay? You've been quiet lately. Just work stress, Q3 numbers. Mike said the company's doing great. Mike says a lot of things. She looked at me strangely. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Forget it. She touched my arm. Rob, talk to me. What's going on? I wanted to scream. I wanted to show her the footage right there, in front of everyone. Watch her face crumble. Watch Mike's mask slip. Instead, I smiled. I'm fine, Jen. Really, just tired. She kissed my cheek. Go relax. I'll handle the kids. I went inside, locked myself in the bathroom, sat on the edge of the tub, head in my hands. 96 hours. I just had to hold on for 96 more hours. July the 23rd. I was at the office. Mike knocked on my door. Got a minute? Sure, come in. He sat across from me, relaxed, comfortable, no guilt in his eyes. I wanted to thank you, he said. For what? For everything. This company, this partnership, these last 15 years. You gave me a chance when no one else would. Right out of college, you believed in me. I don't say it enough, but you're my brother, Rob. You know that, right? I looked at him, really looked at him, searching for any sign of remorse, any crack in the facade, nothing. You're my brother too, I said. He smiled. Good, because I've got something to tell you. My heart stopped. Did he know? Did he figure it out? What is it? I'm taking some time off, personal leave, starting next week. Next week? Yeah, just a couple months, travel a bit, clear my head. Is that okay? I know it's sudden, but where are you going? Mexico, actually. Always wanted to spend time down there, maybe buy a little place on the beach. He was telling me, or right to my face, his escape plan dressed up as vacation. That sounds great, I said. You deserve a break. Thanks, man. I knew you'd understand. He stood, clapped my shoulder. Take care of yourself, Rob. You work too hard. You too, Mike. He left. I sat there shaking. 72 hours. That night, July 23rd, I couldn't go home. Not yet. I drove to the park where Ryan and Emma liked to play, sat in my car in the empty parking lot. My phone had 63 missed calls over the past 3 weeks. 38 from Jen. Where are you? When are you coming home? Are you okay? I'd answered most of them, made excuses, late meetings, traffic, needed to clear my head, 5 calls from my mom. I'd been avoiding her, couldn't handle her concern, couldn't lie to her without breaking. 6 texts from Mike, all variations of, hey buddy, you good? And let's grab drinks soon. I pulled out my wallet, found the drawing I'd taken from the fridge, Ryan's family portrait from his birthday party. 6 figures now. Mom, Dad, Ryan, Emma, Uncle Mike, and a dog we didn't have. Uncle Mike, right there in the picture. Part of our family, drawn almost as big as me. I folded the drawing carefully, put it back in my wallet. This is what I'm fighting for. Not revenge, not even justice. Protection. Protecting Ryan and Emma from growing up thinking Uncle Mike was a good man. Protecting them from learning too late that monsters wear familiar faces. I started the car, drove home. Jennifer was on the couch watching TV. She smiled when I walked in. Hey, kids are asleep. Want to watch something? Sure. I sat next to her. She curled against me, put her head on my shoulder. I love you, she said. I love you too. 48 hours. July 24th, Saturday, the day before. I woke up early, 6 a.m. Jen was still asleep. I went downstairs, made coffee, sat at the kitchen table. My phone buzzed. Text from Rick Thompson. Rick, everything's set. Police have warrant. I've got divorce papers ready. We move tomorrow at 2 p.m. You ready? I typed back, ready. Rick, remember you're leaving for business trip this morning. Tell Jennifer. Make it believable. We need her comfortable, not suspicious. Me. Got it. Rick, And Rob, whatever you're feeling right now, anger, sadness, fear, use it tomorrow. But today you're the loving husband, the trusting friend. One more day, one more day. Jen came downstairs at 8, wore my old college t-shirt, messy hair, no makeup, beautiful. Once that sight made me happy, now it just hurt. Morning, she said, kissing the top of my head. You're up early. Couldn't sleep. Hey, I forgot to tell you, I have to go to Dallas tomorrow. Client emergency, last minute thing. She frowned. Tomorrow? That's Sunday. I know, I'm sorry. I'll leave in the morning, be back Monday night. That sucks. I know, but it's the Holton account. I can't blow them off. Okay, she poured coffee. I'll take the kids to my sister's for the day. Give them some cousin time. Perfect. Exactly what I'd hoped she'd say. That's a great idea. They'd love that. She smiled. Maybe I'll have a quiet day to myself. Read a book, take a bath, or fuck my best friend one last time before running away to Mexico. You deserve it, I said. That afternoon, I helped pack the kids' overnight bags. Ryan and Emma were excited. They loved their cousins. We'll be good, Daddy, Emma promised. I know you will, sweetheart. When are you coming back from your trip? Ryan asked. Monday night, 2 days. I'll call you before bed tomorrow, okay? Okay. I hugged them both, held them a little longer than usual. They squirmed, laughing. Daddy, you're squishing me, Emma giggled. Sorry, Em. Just gonna miss you guys. Jennifer drove them to her sister's at 4 p.m. I waved goodbye from the driveway. Then I went inside, sat in the living room, stared at the camera in the corner, that little black dome that had captured everything, that had revealed the truth, that had given me the evidence I needed. I pulled out my laptop, opened the Secure Home app, queued up a compilation video I'd made, 30 minutes of highlights, the worst moments, the most damning conversations. Tomorrow, I'd show it to them. Tomorrow, they'd watch themselves destroy my life. Tomorrow, this all ended. 24 hours. That night, Jennifer came home around 8. I'd ordered Chinese food. We ate in front of the TV, watching some movie neither of us cared about. I'm going to miss you tomorrow, she said. Liar. I'll miss you too. Liar. We went to bed at 10. She reached for me. I let her. We had sex for the last time as husband and wife. She fell asleep after, curled against me. I lay awake, staring at the ceiling until sunrise. The Trap, July 25th. Sunday, 2 p.m. The house was empty, kids at Jen's sister's. I'd left that morning at 8, told Jen I was heading to the airport. Instead, I drove to a hotel 10 minutes away. Checked in under a fake name, waited. Rick Thompson was with me, Patricia Sanders too. They'd brought all the evidence, 3 bankers' boxes full. Carlos was on standby at the office, ready to lock Mike out of all company systems the moment I gave the word. 2 police detectives, Martinez and Chen, waited in their unmarked car down the street from my house. They had an arrest warrant for Mike. Embezzlement, wire fraud, theft. All we needed was for Mike and Jennifer to be in the house together, talking about their plan, finalizing details. The cameras were still rolling. I watched the live feed on my laptop. Living room camera, kitchen camera, office camera, hallway camera, 1 Lars PM, empty house. Rick sat across from me, reviewing papers. Patricia checked her phone. I couldn't sit still, paced the hotel room, checked the cameras every 30 seconds. They'll show up, Rick said calmly. Just breathe. 1:45 p.m. Jennifer's car pulled into the driveway. She got out, went inside. I watched her on the living room camera. She set her purse down, checked her phone, smiled at something, texting Mike, probably. 1:52 p.m. Mike's car appeared. He parked on the street, not the driveway, walked up to my front door, used his key, let himself into my house. Jennifer met him in the entryway. They kissed, long, slow, comfortable. Then they went to the living room, sat on my couch. Turn on the audio, Rick said. I clicked the volume up. Excited? Mike was saying. 24 hours, Jen. This time tomorrow, we're in Mexico. I can't believe it's finally happening. Cold feet? No, just, it's real now, I'm leaving him, leaving this life. You don't sound sad about it. I'm not. I should be, but I'm not. I just want to start our life. No more sneaking around. No more lying. Mike laughed. We're really doing this. Taking the money, taking you, leaving Rob with nothing. He'll be fine. Rob's resilient. He'll bounce back. You think he'll ever figure out it was me? That I planned this from the beginning? What do you mean? Come on, Jen. You think I became his best friend in college by accident? I knew he was going to be successful, smart, driven, trusting. He was the perfect Mark. I spent 15 years positioning myself, business partner, best friend, godfather to his kids. And now I'm taking everything. That's kind of cold, Mike. It's strategic. There's a difference. What about Ryan and Emma? What about them? Don't you feel bad leaving them? Mike shrugged. They're not my kids. Rob can have them. Jennifer's face fell slightly. I thought maybe we'd fight for custody. Jen, we're fleeing the country. We can't fight for custody. The kids stay here. But they're Rob's problem now. We'll have our own kids in Mexico. Start fresh. She didn't respond, just stared at her hands. Mike checked his watch. We should finalize the last transfer. 100,000 left. I'll move it to the offshore account tonight. By tomorrow noon, everything's untraceable. He pulled out his laptop, started typing. There, he said after a few minutes. Done. $206,000 safely moved. Rob will never find it. Unless he already knows. Mike laughed. Rob? No way. He's clueless. Always has been. We've been fucking in his house for 2 years and he never suspected. We've been stealing from his company for 18 months and he never noticed. Rob's a useful idiot, Jen. He built everything for us. Now we just take it and go. There it was. Admission, on camera, with audio. Rick looked at me. That's enough. Make the call. I texted Detective Martinez, now. Then I stood up. I'm going home. We'll be right behind you, Rick said. 5 minutes. Give the police time to position. I drove to my house, parked across the street, watched my front door. Martinez and Chen's car pulled up behind me. They got out. Martinez nodded. We're ready, Mr. Mitchell. On your signal. I took a deep breath. This was it. No going back. I got out of my car, walked up my driveway, used my key, opened my own front door. I forgot to mention the living room was exactly as it appeared on camera. Mike and Jennifer on the couch. His laptop open between them, wine glasses on the coffee table. They looked up when I walked in. 3 seconds of perfect silence. Jennifer's face went white. Mike's smile vanished. Rob, Jen said, you're supposed to be in Dallas. I was never going to Dallas. I walked into my living room, and stood in front of them. What's going on? Mike asked, starting to stand. Sit down, Mike. Something in my voice made him sit. Jennifer's eyes were wide, panicked. Rob, I can explain. Can you? Explain what, exactly? Explain why my best friend is in my house on a Sunday afternoon? Explain the wine? Explain his laptop? We were just... I forgot to mention something, Jen. She stopped talking. Those cameras I installed? The ones I told you about? Her breathing got faster. They record everything, audio and video, and they upload to the cloud automatically. I've been watching you for 5 weeks. Every time Mike came over, every conversation, every lie. Oh my God! Her voice barely a whisper. Mike stood up. Rob, listen. No, you listen. Sit down, both of you. Detective Martinez stepped through the front door. Detective Chen right behind him. Both had badges visible. Jennifer started crying immediately. Loud, gasping sobs. Mike's face went from confusion to understanding to panic in 3 seconds. What is this? He said. I pulled out my phone, opened the compilation video I'd made, held it where they could see. This is you. I said, pressing play. Their own voices filled the room. June 20th. Useful idiot built everything for us. June 27th. Rob's the most loyal person I know. He'd never suspect. July 2nd. I don't love him. Haven't for years. July 18th. We're stealing from his company for 18 months. July 25th. Rob will never find it. 30 minutes of highlights condensed to 90 seconds. When it ended, I looked at Mike. You called me a useful idiot. You said I built everything for you. You spent 15 years pretending to be my friend so you could steal from me. Rob, it's exactly that. I have 60 hours of footage, Mike. 60 hours of you and my wife in my house, mocking me, planning your escape, stealing my money. I turned to Jennifer. And you. You told him you never loved me, that you just loved what I could provide. You were going to abandon our children, Ryan and Emma, your own kids. I was confused. You were booking plane tickets to Mexico tomorrow. One way. You were leaving. Rick Thompson walked in, briefcase in hand. Jennifer Mitchell, he said, pulling out papers. You're being served. Divorce petition filed this morning based on the evidence of adultery as outlined in your prenuptial agreement section 7C. You forfeit all claims to marital property and assets. You will receive no spousal support. Mr. Mitchell is seeking full custody of both minor children. He handed her the papers. She took them with shaking hands. Mike Carter, Detective Martinez said, stepping forward, you're under arrest for embezzlement, wire fraud, and theft. You have the right to remain silent. Wait, what? Mike backed up. This is a mistake. $206,000 stolen from Mitchell Software Solutions over 18 months. Martinez continued, we have a forensic accounting report and video evidence of you discussing the theft. Turn around, hands behind your back. Rob, please. Mike's voice cracked. We can talk about this. Turn around, Chen repeated. Mike turned. Chen cuffed him. The sound of metal clicking shut was the most satisfying thing I'd ever heard. Patricia Sanders entered carrying 2 of the evidence boxes. This, she said, setting them on my coffee table, is 18 months of financial records documenting systematic embezzlement, wire transfers, fraudulent expenses, offshore accounts. Everything's documented. Everything's traceable. She pulled out the flight confirmations, held them up. And these are your plane tickets to Mexico, one way, departing tomorrow at 11:45 a.m., seats 12A and 12B, right next to each other. Jennifer was sobbing into her hands. Rob, I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. A mistake? I stepped closer. A mistake is forgetting our anniversary. A mistake is being late to dinner. This was 2 years of calculated betrayal. 2 years of lying to my face. 2 years of fucking my best friend in our bed while our kids slept down the hall. Please. Did you love him? Even a little? She looked up at me, mascara running down her face. I don't know. I thought I did. But he just told you he doesn't care about Ryan and Emma, that they're my problem, that you'd have new kids in Mexico. You heard that, right? 5 minutes ago? She didn't answer. Here's what's going to happen, I said. Mike's going to prison. You're losing everything in the divorce. I'm getting full custody, the house, the cars, everything. And you? You get to explain to our kids why mommy chose a man who didn't love them over the father who does. Rob, please, don't do this. I'm not doing this. You did this. I'm just making sure everyone knows. Mike was being led toward the door, hands cuffed behind his back. He looked back at me, not remorseful, angry. You think you're so smart, he spat. You think you won. I know I did. You're pathetic. You always were. Following me around in college like a puppy, needing my approval. You built this company because I pushed you to. You married Jen because I introduced you. Everything you have because of me. I smiled. Had. Everything I had. Past tense. Because now you're going to prison, and I'm keeping everything. His face twisted with rage. You're dead to me. Good. Feelings mutual. Martinez pushed him toward the door. Let's go, Mr. Carter. They took him outside. I watched through the window as they put him in the back of the police car. He stared straight ahead. No more mask. Just hatred. Jennifer was still on the couch, papers clutched in her hands. You need to leave, I told her. This is my house, too. Read the papers. Temporary order of protection. You have 24 hours to collect your personal belongings. After that, you're not welcome here. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem anymore. Rick stepped forward. Mrs. Mitchell, I suggest you hire an attorney. We'll be in court in 2 weeks for the custody hearing. Given the evidence, the affair, the plan to flee the country, the abandonment of your children, I don't anticipate you'll be successful, but you're welcome to try. She looked at me one last time. I didn't mean to hurt you. Yeah, you did. You just didn't mean to get caught. She grabbed her purse, walked to the door, stopped. I did love you once, in the beginning. I want you to know that. I don't care. She left. The door closed. I stood in my living room, with no one else's claim to it, and let out a breath I'd been holding for 5 weeks. Rick put a hand on my shoulder. You did it. Yeah. How do you feel? I didn't know how to answer that. Victorious, devastated, relieved, destroyed. All of it, none of it. I feel like it's over, I finally said. The hard part's just beginning, Patricia warned. Criminal trial for Mike, custody battle with Jennifer. She'll fight you, even though she'll lose. Let her fight. I have the truth. I sat down on my couch, the same couch where I'd watched them kiss, where I'd heard them call me a useful idiot, where they'd planned to destroy my life. It was just a couch now, just furniture. Rick and Patricia stayed for another hour, going over next steps, timelines, court dates, strategy. When they left, I was alone. The cameras were still recording. I walked around my house looking at everything differently. The kitchen where Jennifer made dinner while texting Mike, the office where Mike stole my money, the hallway where the camera had captured them planning their escape. This house held too many ghosts now. I'd have to sell it, start fresh somewhere else. But first, I had to tell my kids. The trials 8 months later, March the following year. Mike's criminal trial was held in February, 3 weeks of testimony. Carlos testified about the suspicious file access. Patricia presented the forensic evidence. The prosecutor played the audio recordings, Mike's own voice admitting to embezzlement, to the useful idiot line, to planning the theft from the beginning. The defense tried to argue that I'd entrapped him, that the recordings were illegal, that I'd manufactured evidence. The judge wasn't buying it. Guilty on all counts. Mike was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. Restitution of $206,000 plus interest, total of $238,000, damages, court fees, everything. His lawyer filed an appeal. It was denied. I sat in the courtroom the day they led him away. He looked at me once. Pure hatred. Good. Let him hate me. Let him spend 5 years in a cell thinking about how he'd played himself. The divorce trial was faster. 2 days. Rick presented everything, the videos, the texts, the flight confirmations, the prenup with its infidelity clause clearly stated. Jennifer's lawyer tried to argue emotional distress, tried to say Mike had manipulated her, tried to paint her as a victim. The judge reviewed the footage, watched her laugh while calling me an idiot, watched her discuss abandoning Ryan and Emma, watched her plan to flee the country. Mrs. Mitchell, the judge said, you're an adult who made conscious choices. You engaged in a 2-year affair. You planned to leave the jurisdiction. You showed no remorse until you were caught. I see no grounds for leniency. Full custody to me. Jennifer got supervised visitation, 4 hours every other Saturday at a court-approved facility. The house, mine. The cars, mine. The savings, mine. She walked away with nothing but what she'd brought into the marriage, her student loans and old furniture from her first apartment. The prenup saved me. Ryan and Emma were in therapy now, family counseling, individual sessions. Emma was doing okay. She was young enough that the disruption didn't hit as hard. She missed her mom, but she adjusted. Ryan struggled more. He was 8, old enough to understand that Uncle Mike wasn't really his uncle, wasn't really good, had hurt Daddy. Why did he do it? Ryan asked me one night after a particularly hard session. We were sitting in his room, lights dim, dinosaur nightlight glowing. I don't know, champ. But he was my godfather. He promised to protect me. I know. He lied. Yeah, he did. Are you gonna lie to me? My throat tightened. No, never, I promise. How do I know you're not lying about not lying? Smart kid. You don't, I guess, but I can tell you this. I will always be honest with you, even when it's hard, even when the truth hurts. You deserve that. Ryan thought about it. Okay. I believe you, Dad. He fell asleep 20 minutes later. I sat in his room for another hour, watching him breathe, trying not to cry. By April, things had stabilized. The company was doing better than ever. Carlos became CFO, officially. I gave him a 20% raise and 10% equity. He'd earned it. We hired 3 new developers, landed 2 major contracts. Q1 revenue was up 36%. Turned out I didn't need Mike after all. Ryan's new drawing appeared on the fridge in May. Just 3 figures now: Dad, Ryan, Emma, and a dog. Can we get a dog? He asked. Yeah, champ, we can get a dog. We adopted a golden retriever from the shelter that weekend. Emma named him Buddy. I sold the house in June. Too many memories, too many cameras. We moved to a new place 15 minutes away, smaller, fresh, no ghosts. I didn't install security cameras. Healing 1 year later, July again. Ryan was 9 now, Emma was 6. We'd made it through birthdays, holidays, anniversaries of bad things. The kids were thriving. Report cards were good. Emma's teacher wrote, resilient, kind, adapting well. Ryan's counselor said, he's processing the trauma healthily. Give it time. Time. That's what everyone said. It takes time. They were right. Mike had 18 months left on his sentence. I didn't think about him much anymore. When I did, it wasn't with rage. Just nothing. He was a stranger who'd once worn a familiar face. Jennifer called occasionally, talked to the kids during her supervised visits. She'd moved to another state. Ohio, I think, started over, had a new job, new apartment, new life. The kids talked about her less and less. Do you miss Mom? I asked Emma once. Sometimes, but I like it here with you and Ryan and Buddy. Good, I like it too. I started dating again, slowly, cautiously. Her name was Sarah, high school teacher, divorced, no kids. We met at a coffee shop. She accidentally took my order. We laughed about it, exchanged numbers. 3rd date, I told her everything, the whole story, the affair, the cameras, the embezzlement, the trials, all of it. I expected her to run. She didn't. That's a lot, she said. Yeah. You handled it well. I handled it the only way I could. You protected your kids. You got justice. You didn't fall apart. That's impressive. I fell apart plenty. You just didn't see it. She smiled. Well, I'm seeing you now, and I like what I see. We'd been dating for 4 months. Nothing serious yet, but something. Potential. I wasn't ready to introduce her to the kids. Too soon. Too much. But maybe someday. July 25th, anniversary of the confrontation. I took the day off work, drove to the park where Ryan and Emma like to play, sat on a bench, watched families, dogs, kids on swings. My phone buzzed. Text from Carlos. Carlos, you good today? Me, yeah, just thinking. Carlos, need anything? Me, nah, I'm good. Thanks for checking. Carlos, always, boss. See you tomorrow. I thought about what I'd lost, my marriage, my best friend, my trust in people. I thought about what I'd gained, my kids, my self-respect, The truth. Which mattered more? The kids. Always the kids. If I could go back, would I change anything? I'd never install cameras. I'd confront Jen the second I suspected. I'd ask Mike directly if he was stealing, but that was fantasy. In reality, I did what I had to do with the information I had. And it worked out. Not perfectly, not painlessly, but we survived. That evening, I picked up Ryan and Emma from their summer camp program. "Dad, can we get ice cream?" Emma asked. "Sure, kiddo." We went to the place downtown they loved, got 3 cones, sat outside on the patio. "This is nice," Ryan said. "Yeah." "Yeah, just us 3, and Buddy." "We didn't bring Buddy." "I know, but he's part of us 3 now, so it's us 4. I smiled. "Fair enough." Emma was quiet, focused on her ice cream. Then, Dad. "Yeah, Em? Are you happy?" Kids ask the hardest questions. "Yeah, sweetheart, I am. Are you?" "Uh-huh. I like our new house, and Buddy, and school." "Good. That's all I want. For you guys to be happy." "Are you going to get married again?" Ryan asked. "Maybe. Someday. Would that be okay?" He shrugged. "If she's nice, and likes dogs." "Those are good requirements." "And if she doesn't try to take you away," Emma added. "No one's taking me away. I'm staying right here with you guys. Promise." "Promise, promise?" Emma held out her pinky. I linked mine with hers. "Promise, promise." We finished our ice cream, drove home. The kids did homework. I made dinner, spaghetti again, because some things are just easier. After the kids went to bed, I sat in the living room of our new house. No cameras, no surveillance, no paranoia, just peace. My phone buzzed. Text from Sarah. "Sarah, thinking about you. Hope you're having a good day." Me, "It was good. Thanks for checking in." Sarah, "Want to grab coffee this weekend? Bring the kids. I'd love to meet them. Only if you're ready." I stared at the message. Was I ready? To trust someone new, to let someone into our lives, to risk getting hurt again. Maybe not fully, but enough. Me, "Yeah, let's do it." Saturday morning. Sarah, "Perfect. See you then." I set my phone down, looked around the living room, new furniture, new pictures on the walls, mostly the kids' drawings, no wedding photos, no reminders of before. This was after, and after wasn't so bad. Epilogue. If you've made it this far, thank you. I know this story was messy, complicated, no clear heroes, plenty of villains, including, at times, me. Some of you will say I did the right thing by exposing them. Some will say I should have handled it privately. Some will say I went too far with the cameras. Some will say I didn't go far enough. You're all probably right in different ways. Here's what I learned. 1. Installing cameras saved my life. But living through what they showed me nearly destroyed it. Sometimes the truth comes at a cost. 2. Useful idiot was the phrase that haunted me for months. Now it's the phrase that reminds me I survived. They underestimated me. That was their mistake. 3. Betrayal by those closest to you, your spouse, your best friend, cuts deeper than any other pain. It makes you question everything, everyone, yourself. 4. Kids are resilient, but they're also watching. They learn how to handle adversity by watching you handle it. I hope I taught Ryan and Emma that you can be devastated and still stand up, that you can be broken and still fight. 5. Forgiveness is complicated. I don't forgive Mike. I don't forgive Jennifer. Maybe I never will. But I've stopped letting them live rent-free in my head. That's close enough. 6. Justice feels good in the moment. Mike in prison, Jennifer losing everything, that felt like vindication, but it didn't heal me. Time did, therapy did, my kids did. 7. Trust is earned, not given. I'm dating Sarah now, 6 months and counting. I told her everything on date 3. She stayed. I'm learning to trust again. Slowly. 8. Cameras are tools. They gave me proof. They gave me power, but they also showed me things I can never unsee. Use them wisely. 9. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend. Not everyone who says they love you means it. Watch actions, not words. 10. You're stronger than you think. On July 10th last year, I thought discovering the affair would destroy me. It didn't. I destroyed the affair instead. To anyone who's been cheated on, you'll survive. It doesn't feel like it now, but you will. The pain fades. The scars remain, but they stop hurting eventually. To anyone who's been betrayed by a friend, I'm sorry. It's a unique kind of pain. There's no rule book for it, but you're not alone. To anyone considering having an affair, don't. Just don't. The damage you'll cause isn't worth whatever you think you'll gain. End your relationship first. Be honest. Be decent. To anyone who's embezzling, stop. You will get caught, and when you do, you'll lose everything. Prison, reputation, relationships, all of it. I don't know if Mike ever thinks about what he lost. Probably not. Narcissists rarely do. I don't know if Jennifer regrets her choices. She says she does in emails, but words are cheap. What I know is this. Ryan's 10 now. Plays soccer, gets straight A's, talks about becoming a veterinarian. Emma's 7, loves art, has a million friends, wants a little sister someday. Not happening, but cute. Buddy's 3. Still acts like a puppy. Best decision we ever made. Sarah and I are engaged. Weddings next summer. The kids are excited. They helped pick the ring. The company's doing great. Carlos and I are equal partners now. Revenue's up. Employees are happy. We're hiring. I sold the old house for a profit. New place has a big backyard. No cameras, just life. Mike gets out of prison in 2 years. I won't be there when he does. I've moved on. Jennifer sees the kids once a month now. Supervised visits became unsupervised. She's trying. It's not enough to undo the damage, but it's something. Me? I'm okay. Most days are good. Some days are hard. But I'm here. Still standing. 2 years ago, I installed cameras and watched my world burn. Today, I'm building a new one. No surveillance needed. Just trust. And time. And the family I chose. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And if something feels wrong, trust your gut. It's usually right.